Hi everyone, welcome to Shimmer Girl Talks. Today's topic, racism. From time to time, I see online questions like, why won't racism go away? Or wouldn't the world be a better place if no racism existed? And so bear with me while I get my thoughts out, because I'm going to bring a few topics into this. Now, if you can hear my blinker, I'm on my way to work. Anyway, so what I often say online in regards to racism is human beings will simply find another way to divide or separate from other human beings. Racism is not going away. Racism is just the easiest thing. Color is the easiest thing to separate people by. And as a Black person, I have been called the N-word on more than one occasion. And, and I've had white people try to gaslight me with, it's just a word, sticks and stones, knowing full well that hurling that word at you while you're just minding your own business is not being said in goodwill and peace to you. It's saying through a rabbit mouth, foaming at the mouth like a dog in hate. That's how it's happened to me. And I remember the first time I was called the N-word, I was about 9 years old, and I was outside playing. We lived in a predominantly white community, but we lived in a project. So it was like mostly single Black mothers in this area that we lived in. It was like just, what's the word? Oh, I can't think of the word I want to use, but all around us were, probably $250,000 or $300,000 homes. You're looking at 40 years ago. So that was a lot of money back then. While we lived in, like I said, the projects. So we were outside playing, my brothers, maybe some neighbor kids, and two white men in a car driving by yelled out the N-word with the hard ER. I don't think people were saying the N-word with the A at the end back then. I don't remember it, but definitely with a hard ER. And I remember going into the house and asking my mother, what's an N-word? And I don't remember exactly what she said, but I know her energy shifted. So that was my introduction to that word. And also living in a predominantly white community back in the day, I remember, white women clutching their purses extra hard when you would walk by, or, they would say passive aggressive little digs and insults and stuff. And I get, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So again, racism is not going to go away simply because humans will find another thing to hate somebody else on. It would be the rich against the poor, which already happens. The tall against the short, the fat against the not fat. You get my drift. And so I think I'm going to get ahead of myself a little bit. I think with a lot of Black people, and it doesn't feel good to be rejected or treated like a criminal or treated funny simply because of the color of your skin. It doesn't feel good at all. And matter of fact, I remember, again, 40 something years ago, a girl in my classroom, I was the only girl in the class, the only Black person in the class. And she was throwing a birthday party, and I was the only one not invited. And, that was hurtful. I mean, I'm pretty sure by now, karma has gotten her. You reap what you sow. So being rejected simply because of your color, your race, it is hurtful. But I'm a firm believer. I think that's one reason why I push for the nuclear family so hard, because if you have the proper base at home, a loving father, a loving mother, and they're together loving you and raising you, that is a confidence booster. You don't have time to think about inbred idiots, and they don't even have to be inbreds. That's an insult, but they can be rich in mansions or whatever and be racist as the day is long. But my point is, even racists know that there is strength in unity, family unity. And that's one reason why I won't name the party. Yes, I will. The Democrats try so hard to continue to push victimology onto the black community, because that keeps us in a constant state of confusion and hurt and anger and dependency on the Democrats, honestly. And another thing that they don't push the nuclear family. And we don't even push the nuclear family as a collective. So much would change within our community if we work together. If we work together, but there are a lot of reasons why that can't happen. And I've wanted to do a reaction on Dr. Umar, when he says, talks about, black people working together and this, that, and the other. And it's easier said than done. Because even he, being Mr. Pro-Black, blackity black, when he has reached out to black people to help him, construction workers or whatever, it's a certain word that I wanted to use, but I can't think of it right now. Even he got played. And he reached out to a fellow black man only to end up having to go to white men to help him with his school. But I'm going off on a tangent. I'm going back to the topic of racism. So again, I think bottom line, we have to fix the base of the community. And you're not going to get the proper base with so many black children being raised by an emotional mother, single mother. A mother can't do it all by herself. And you might be like, well, what does that have to do with racism? Well, I already said what it has to do with racism. If we had the proper base before we even left our parents' house, we wouldn't care about, the racism that's directed at us. The reason why it can, be a gut punch to us is because whatever brokenness that we were raised in a single home, mother home, and then we go out in the world and people hate us just for the color of our skin, that's where you get a lot of problems within the black community, with drugs and the repeat cycle of broken homes and the prison system. And you have women, living dubious lifestyles. That all comes from an inferiority complex. Because if you genuinely feel good about yourself, you love yourself, you're going to make choices that aligns with the values that's deep within your heart, because I am somebody, I'm loved, I'm cherished. And let's go back to when President Obama first got elected to presidency. And I remember, it was on the news and they were going around talking to, different black people and stuff. And I remember this little black boy saying, I can be somebody now. And I was like, and I thought this even then, so you couldn't be anybody before a black man became president? So another thing about us as a community, we get our confidence, that's not the word that I want to use, but we get it from celebrities. that's where we get our self-esteem. That's what I wanted to say. We get our self-esteem from looking at celebrities and trying to emulate celebrity emulate celebrities, all while having poor morals, poor life choices, while people of other cultures, they look to the people within their community, the local police, the lawyer, the doctor, the store owner. You know, they tend to keep their pride amongst themselves because I know what I want to say, but I hope you all understand what I mean. So we look to external influences to be our salvation, whereas other cultures look within. And if we can get to internalizing self-love, and I mean it in a genuine way, not because you can dress fly, got on, some snazzy new clothes or drive a snazzy car,